Started doing that show in 2000, did it for 7 years, and it's still, I'll meet 7-year-old, 8-year-old girls who it's their favorite show because of Second Life for things like Netflix and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Which is bonkers. Like it blows my mind.
Kirk Gleason is a brand.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't know what that says about me that's the character I'm associated with, but the grown man who lives in his mom's basement and is essentially a man-child. He's essentially a 10-year-old living in a grown-up's body. That's the most comfortable role I've ever played. So,
As old as I am, I'm too young to have watched The Tonight Show with Jack Parr, but my dad used to tell me people just come and they would just hang out. Mm-hmm. And then you felt like after you watched the show, you felt like you knew the person. So like millions of people everywhere, that's really how they got to know you, right?
yeah.
So how did Sean Gunn get to that role and get to that point in life?
It's like I'd been acting my whole life. I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, youngest of 6, and always wanted to be an actor, like almost maniacally so. I was like, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to be an actor. Did plays in high school, but I was in Missouri and ended up auditioning for and going to the Goodman School of Drama in Chicago. So I went and studied theater in Chicago. And when you're a young actor, you really have this idea that I can do anything. I can whatever.
I'm bulletproof.
Whatever. Yeah, I'll do Shakespeare. I can do. Just throw it at me and I can do it. And so I kind of had that idea. Started working a little bit in Chicago. Did commercials and stuff. Moved to LA and started auditioning for TV series. And just became this comedy guy. So I had a specialty where I would take 1 or 2 lines and make them funny. And that was I started doing sitcoms and stuff like that. And then I ended up on this show, Gilmore Girls, did 1 episode, thought it was going to be gone forever. I played the role of the DSL installer on the show, right?
Right.
Which ages me and all of us.
What's a DSL? Gotcha.
Yeah, right. And so that was 25 years ago, and I played this character, did 1 episode, and then as the story goes, a couple episodes later, the creator of the show had a new character that was a delivery guy delivering swans to a wedding.
Right.
And
I love that clip.
And they started to audition some new people, and she didn't like anybody. And she said to the casting directors, "Get me a guy like that guy who played the DSL installer." And one of the casting directors, bless her heart, Jamie Rudofsky, said, "Why don't you just hire that same guy again?" And so she started asking me back. And from that point on, whenever they had just a couple of lines of a character popping up in the town, because she was trying to build this quirky town. So whenever they would go somewhere new and they just needed somebody to pop in for a few seconds of comic relief, they kept hiring me to come in and do the little roles. And I kept thinking that eventually this joke's going to wear thin and they're going to stop hiring me. But there was a full season of it, and then a second season, and then I started to audition for other stuff, and they made me a regular in season 3, and I ended up doing the show for 7 years.
So in the first couple of seasons, it wasn't like, oh, the DSL guy's bringing us our swans or whatever.
No,
it was never connected?
No, what's funny is I didn't know, because back then, now they'll write a whole season of television before they shoot it.
Right.
But then it was episode to episode, and the show hadn't even premiered yet. So I didn't know what the bit was. I didn't know if I was playing the same character or if I was a shadow of the same character.
Right.
And I didn't want to ask because I didn't want to get fired.
Exactly. No, don't ask, don't tell.
So I just show up and do my thing. And so in the first few episodes, I thought I was playing this different character. And then eventually they gave me a name and I became part of the the fabric of the town. I became the guy who like had a million jobs and worked everywhere.
Right, which they had just seen.
Yes.
Right.
But I didn't know when I started that that's where it was going.
Right, wow, what a trip, man.
Yeah. And it was wild.
It sounds like it's one of my favorite quotes that I don't know if he invented it, but the great director and cinematography for Michael Goy said to me, who shot one of my movies early on, it's all about the illusion of intention. Like the idea that that wasn't planned blows my mind. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Because it's such a thing.
Right.
They want to create a quirky world. I mean, you just keep showing up.
Yeah.
It's the idea that that wasn't their idea.
Yeah. It was.
Conversely, I did an NYPD Blue. You can't come back. If you've been on the show, you can't come back.
Yeah, no, well, if it wouldn't have been that, and it wouldn't have been that, we want to create a quirky world. And
Got it.
I mean, if you haven't seen it, I'll send you a link to just a reel where you see him like,
I would love to see it.
I don't know how many appearances you made, but
But you're right about that. In that the second episode I did,
Yeah.
they were like, "Hey, they're hiring you again." I was like, "What? I already did that show."
Yeah.
Like, how could they possibly be hiring me again?
Right, well, it's
You
a
know?
quirky world.
Yeah. Now it's out there. And the other funny thing about the show is that it was a modest hit when it was on. Like, it did fine. It was on the CW. It did well enough to get picked up to keep
7 years,
going.
right? 7 or 8 years, I
Yes. But it was never like part of the zeitgeist. It was never part of like the conversation. It wasn't a sexy show for people in television. Then it started to get this second life on DVD when DVD sales when the show ended, and then when it came out on Netflix, it exploded. And so then in 2013, 14, 15, years after the show had been on, they released the whole series on Netflix, and it became, and I think to this day still is, one of the most popular shows to ever be on Netflix. So it's like,
That's amazing.
Yes.
That got to grow like that.
yeah.